Hello Scrappy friends, this is Iris and I am here to share with you the after flip through of the Father's Day mini book that I made my husband this year. Back a few days before Father's Day, I posted the before flip through and I meant to finish that right for Father's Day. I just underestimated how long it would take me. 3 days is just not enough. It was more like 3 weeks, and part of the reason is because I am not a quick scrapper. I really enjoy getting into the process. Some people are super fast and I totally admire and envy how fast and prolific they are, but I really like to just kind of settle in and enjoy the process. I do try things out a lot, but I just sort of get this sense of peace when I'm scrapping, and I don't want to hurry it along. Sometimes I wish I could hurry it along, to be honest. Obviously when I just can't make a decision, but in general, I do value the process rather than the finished product. And in this case, however, I have to say that this turned out to be probably one of the things that I am most proud of making. One of my favorite projects. And if you see the before video, this is actually done, it's a mini, about 8 by 8 roughly, maybe 8.5 by 8.5. And it was a children's book. One of the books that we used to read our two kids when they were little, called Only My Dad and Me. And ever since they were little, I had this vision when we would read this book. I'd had this vision of turning it into a scrapbook. I just loved the concept of it. And like I said, I did make a video with the before so you could see the pages, and I didn't really read the whole story out loud, but you can see the story on the pages as I unfolded them. Now I did have to, I cut the spine because it was just a regular binding. The pages were the fold over with the staple. And I have it's a cinch machine, which I feel was totally worth the investment. I don't remember how much I paid for it. I know there's a few binding machines out there, and I got mine maybe 5 years ago, and I loaded up on all the little wires, and every time I've used it, I thought, this is fantastic. I haven't used it more than maybe half a dozen times, but to me, it's totally worth it. It's not, I don't regret not using it more, because to me, this is like a lifelong investment tool. And some things are just like that. And so I cut this apart to actually assemble, to do all my individual pages. So I had to keep track of the fronts and backs, but it wasn't too bad. And then when I was completely done, I went ahead and figured out the holes and poked, not poked, punched out the holes, and I did the binding. And I can tell you that my kids and my husband were completely wowed with this. Anyways, I guess I'm done. I'm doing too much talking. Let me go ahead and show you what I did. So the cover, again, my goal was to preserve the story and a little bit of the cutesy background stuff, but I did cover up all the most of the main photos, because this one was like a little bunny, you know, dad and kid, and of course I was making it over with my husband and my two kids. So here's the cover, and I'll try to point out, I pulled out products that I used. It's been many weeks now, so it took me a while to remember what I used, and I pulled out, I'm probably missing a few things, but I will try to point out what I used from where they are and show you the rest of the samples that I have of the actual products. So the cover, I wanted to cover it was a big photo in the middle of the bunnies, and so I did a 5 by 7, I believe. And I think I use clouds every other project or every other scrapbook page I ever make. So this has a combination of one of my absolute favorite manufacturers, and that is Cocoa Vanilla Studios. The Totally Rad collection is one that I got. I think I got most of the things from that, and I got a few of their other ones. They're an Australian company, and you can only get their products in a few places. But yeah, you'll see that in some of the pages here. So I know these things are from that collection, and this is from the Chamel's. Hold on a second. All right. I set everything up, and then I put my actual photo lights over where I had the pile of stickers and such. This is these awesome tile alphas. I don't know that you could call them thickers, but they are from the Chamel Go Now Go line, which is somewhat of a travel line. I absolutely love it. I'm going to use so much of it for my travels. But that worked out really good to use them here with these rad. The rad is from that Cocoa Vanilla Studio. Okay. I'll point some other things out as I keep going. The first page I did, since it was more of just the book info, dedication, the copyright date and all that here, I actually covered this page with just plain cardstock. And I just built on top of that. And I have my kids have always used my husband as a jungle gym. I call him Jungle Jason sometimes. And you would think that now that they are 11 and 14, that would have abated, but no. This is actually a photo from just a few years ago, maybe 2 years ago. And they're still jumping on him, so it's a miracle he can still, well, he's strong. And all of these things are from that Cocoa Vanilla Studio, and this was such a fun page to do. I thought I wouldn't do too much dimension on this because it's going to get thick, and you'll see why. Pages fold out. But I couldn't resist the dots, and the enamel dots are from that line. So I just grabbed a few of the small ones. There might be a few from another pack, but I can't remember which one. Okay, then the first, I guess this is the first page, but really for me, this is the first page of the story. This book is set out in seasons, and the first one's an autumn one. When It's Only My Dad and Me is the recurring theme. And this one's autumn, and I tried to pick photos that match what the story was saying. And I succeeded to varying degrees. So, you know, we rake the leaves high. So I picked raking leaves. And I was trying to keep it with my husband in the photos, but I couldn't always do that. But I did pretty good, I think. All right, so let's see. If I can point some stuff out, but let me open it up first. So it's When It's Only My Dad and Me, we rake the leaves high. So I got my oldest kid raking leaves and leaping, and they fly. So I was able to find something that goes with that. This says Piles of Smiles on top. We climb trees and say, it's a great autumn day when it's only my dad and me. And, you know, tree climbing. This one's, we were cutting pumpkins way back when my youngest was not even 2 yet. And, yeah, I really love how this page turned out. I did leave a few spaces for my kids to put little notes to their dad. Oh, this was a repurposed tag. I don't remember what it was, but I decorated it in the back. And I left a little space, just a few. I did use, our last name's Fox. I did use some Fox stickers, and I'll just show you those right now because they're throughout. I think there was one in the front that was from these, and these I just got at, I think there was like Beverly Crafts. So I don't really know the brand, but they're the ones that you can find at like Michael's and Beverly's. And not really one of the main manufacturers. So I did use some of these different fox stickers. A few years ago, I did a major purge and major reorganization, and I realized that I use things better if I don't have to fiddle with this, you know, just like that. Opening the packs on the bottom with the glue part, and then you try to get it in, and yeah, I can't stand that. So I cut the tops off, which I wasn't too concerned about before. I wasn't doing any sort of sharing, but I tend to just cut off the whole manufacturer's information and throw it away. Some I've been good about saving and putting into the package itself. I'm just gonna have to work around that and not do that too much anymore if I'm gonna continue to share. Okay, so I do have the little fox stickers. I had just gotten the Gossamer Blue June kit. I believe it's the main kit, and oh my god, I used so much for me from that kit. All this chipboard and cork. So there's one cork right there and one right there from that Gossamer Blue. And I have a variety of die cut leaves. I also used a lot of my 6x6 pads, and there's some autumn one, I can't remember the name, but I cut out a whole bunch of leaves and I stuffed them, and lots and lots of word strips because those work really well. They're flat. Some fabulous Ellie Studio has great thin wood veneer, and this one has the little leaves in it, and I can't get enough of it. No, I can't get enough of their wood veneer. I also have in between the die cut leaves, you can see some printed die cuts of a couple different ones. And one pack that I used is this, I believe it's pretty old, Remarks, excuse me, American Crafts, these little sticker booklets, and I never thought I'd use this, but it worked out really well. Like, there was a border of leaves and I cut them to stick them in here, and it worked out really good. Interspersed with the die cut leaves. Things, little word strips. Loved to do that. So that's the autumn page. And I kept the little mice going up and down, so I think it's a lot of fun. I've never done this before where I've converted a book into a mini, and I can tell you that I'm kind of hooked. I'd really like to do it again. Tabs. Tabs, I'll show you right now, and I'll talk a little bit more about my die cut storage. Oh dear. Tabs, I have all crammed, and I think I need to move up to a bigger size, into an iris container. And I know these are really popular to use, and I do mine. Some people wonder, is it better to do it by color, by manufacturer, by theme, and so forth? I do mine by all the above, yes. So I just happen to have one that's just for tabs, and I've got it crammed full of tabs I've cut and from other manufacturers and stuff. So you'll see a lot of them came from, the ones that I used were a lot from Bella Boulevard's Tabbies. And I think I have 3 different packs in 3 different colorways, and I try to keep the little packaging on the outsides. So there's a tab right there. And I think I just stamped this on there. More little word stickers. So. And I just love how it folds out. And my goal was to kind of make them flow, no matter which way you were looking at it. So, you know, like, my older kid is here just barely peeking out. I didn't cut anyone off. And so that one doesn't necessarily go together, but these sort of go in a strip together. I just made this a grouping. Okay, on to winter, which was the first page I ever did, and I made I posted on Instagram a little sneak of this one. This one is When It's Only My Dad and Me. We spin as snow falls. So I found one where he was throwing snow. And roll giant snowballs. There they are making a snowman. Here's the grouping. Open it up. We sled oh so fast, cheering winter at last, when it's only my dad and me. Wow, this is a really fun page to do. I got the background. It's mostly just the scenery. I did keep, it's a little snow bunny, because again, they were bunnies. And I just didn't know how I wanted to cover it since the ears reached so high. So I ended up doing a frame. I had to cut the frame. Let me tell you, I had to cut these thin wood veneers are awesome, but I did have to cut them for the folds. I don't know if that would bother anyone. It doesn't bother me. And it was super easy to cut them with just the regular scissors. I have the Tonic scissors by Tim Holtz, and they are awesome. We sled oh so fast, cheering winter at last, when it's only my dad and me. And there's sledding photos. I found sledding photos. Now, on this page, I used some Cool Kid by Crate Paper, and I think I used a lot of this. I actually have two because I loved it so much, and I used quite a bit of this paper throughout as well. This is all Cool Kid. Some thin washi, more of these little thin tabs from El Studio. These are from the Drive Kit from Ali Edwards. There's a little pack of these different sort of drive themed sayings, and I used them there. And I also used one of these acetate circles. So that was cool. More tabs. I try to put a few tabs here and there. And I just love how I can open this. I don't know. I'm really pleased with how I got this done. Just a lot of little layers. I actually included a doily. And I had to use a lot of red line tape. So if anyone ever does something with a glossy finish book, the red line tape is your friend. I used a lot of, also the Scotch tape, tearaway tape. And then we get into spring. When it's only my dad and me, we take morning hikes and long rides on bikes. In the hammock we rest and agree, spring's the best when it's only my dad and me. So closing it back up, morning hikes, well, the kids jumping on my husband again. Chipboard is all that wonderful Gossamer Blue chipboard. I think I'm hooked on them. I have a tab, which I think is Simple Stories. This is from a chipboard from an Ali Edwards, and I'm not really sure which one. It might just be like a day in the life kit or week in the life. It says it's often the little stuff that's actually the big stuff. I enjoyed putting lots of little word stickers in this project. More tabs and yeah, chipboard words. And I did something really fun on this one. It took a long time, I have to admit, but I cut from it's the Happy Day Pebbles pad, 6x6 pad, a whole bunch of little triangles, and I pieced them together into chevron. And I just wanted to mimic the background, which was a lot of grassy area. I had to cover up like a whole herd of cattle or something, but you know, kept a few of the little sheep frolicking, and I tried to keep everything sort of like this is the horizon going that way, you know. lined up the grassy area, roughly lined it up. I mean, this doesn't apply, but they're sort of in a hammock. It's actually like a little swing between the two trees. And here, you know, there's a bike, so there's the bike there. But here, like I said, I lined up the horizon, so the grassy area sort of ends there. I think that's more trees. And then I just carried through the paper chevrons, and I think this is like one of my favorite things I did. It was a lot of work, but I really like how I carried it through, and then you open it up and it ends here on this scene. It ends here. So yeah, this was a lot of fun. The little bike with the little mouse. It's so cute. And then summer. Another really favorite. I guess the whole thing is my favorite. Summer has mostly some Cool Kid. All of these papers are Cool Kid. And I have some of these shaped enamel dots, the arrows and hearts. And the Gossamer Blue chipboard again. Just particularly this one. Both from the June kit. And I'll open this up and show you. When it's only my dad and me, we pick shells from the sand and jump waves hand in hand. We go sailing away. It's summer, hooray! When it's only my dad and me. I just love it. I just love it. So this is all paper from that Cool Kid 6x6 pad. I was trying to match sand and water, obviously. So a little bit strips of color along there. And this, I thought it was fun to have these words, but then I did some splatters. And that is mostly, I believe it's called, I think that's the Heidi Shine Custard. And I think I did both. Heidi Shine, and the other one was the Tattered Angels Tiger Lily, which I love. I still have tons of Tattered Angels. And then I did some of that spritzing on this wood veneer, thin wood veneer. Now this wood veneer, and there was this one right here, which is actually like a Polaroid. Those were way back, oh my God, 2012 or so. Someone was actually cutting these at in their garage, and it was like she was just not affiliated with anyone, and she was just taking orders by email, and I got tons and tons of her stuff. I mean, I was like going crazy, and I'd get like 10 of everything, mostly clouds, Polaroids, that sort of thing. So I have tons of those, and I was just like so happy to use these on this project because they're so thin. But I've seen other people coming out with this thin wood veneer, including LA Studio, whereas the thicker one was really popular at first. Cloud clip, and that is Freckle Fawn. I have a little piece here, is from October Afternoon. That was it's this one. It's the Making Memories, I believe. And, which is these arrows. And, yep, Gossamer Blue, that Gossamer Blue. Oh, I want to show you guys a whole bunch of word strips that I use. This is just I think mostly what I was pulling from, and I don't know where all of them came from because, again, I cut things up, take them out of packages. Like this one's from Freckle Fawn. I'll show you that in a second. But some of these were mostly simple stories. So, oh, from the fall, I took some from this little pad, and these were from those like the 12 by 12, and they have alphabets, and they have little word strips, and then they have like little stickers, and I totally cut them up, and I'll show you in a second why. in here I have this. This one's from the more of a summer themed. Here, before I go on with that, I'm going to show you why I cut them off the 12 by 12s. So I keep all my little word stickers in this little box, I guess you could say, that I got at Michael's in the topiary section. You know, they have little baskets and places to put like vases and stuff like that. And I just take things out of packages and I put them all in here for all the word strips, because this is more how my brain wants to work, and I like to flip through. I hate opening up individual packages. So I do that. So when I was making this mini, I went through that and I pulled out these that seem to match the colorways, the mood of each of these pages. So, more simple stories. I cannot remember who this is from, and I looked everywhere. All of the ones I have, they were long, so they're like double this size with some more colors, and I just cut them up. I have like several packages. Someday I'll remember that. Stewie Calico, some Allie Edwards ones, which I got at Story Camp. She gave us a set of this in every colorway she has. It was awesome. This is Freckle Fawn. I love this, and I missed out on another one of their chipboards that I wish I hadn't, so I'm gonna have to go searching for that, but I'm really loving the words on chipboard. I think this is Simple Stories and a Freckle Fawn, which you'll see in the next page. But let me get back to the showing you the mini. These are just alpha stickers that you could color yourself, so they're resist. The actual words were resist. I don't know if I have anything else to point out here. And then I took one of the pages from the 6x6 pad and cut it. It was actually like a journaling kind of ledger paper. And I put my little dedication to my husband here. This is from Bella Boulevard, I believe. They have a whole bunch of different hearts. More tags, 2 different colors. More little word strips. Fun, fun, fun. And then this is the more summer page. When it's only my dad and me, we celebrate every day and also each night. My kiss says, I love you. I have to turn it over to the last page because it continues. His hug says, sleep tight when it's only my dad and me. So let me go back to this page. There's that Felicity Jane. They're clear stickers, and I love, love, love them. And I don't know why, but I just put them all over this page on the tent. So I did pick, we do have some backyard tenting pictures, so I did pick a variety of that. Different times though. And you know, my oldest one was, I think, 3 there, and then this is when we were doing s'mores, which goes with, okay, so yeah, I have 3 across here, and this is like its own grouping, but when you open it up, that's there instead. And these are actually from the same time. And the XO, I can't remember where that's from. Darn, I wish I'd looked that up. I kept, you know, the little mice. I think I just kept the mice instead of the rabbits. But the rabbits were the big ones. Yeah, the cute little mice in the background, just toasting their little marshmallows. There's my little, but mice. That's my little mouse, toasting marshmallows. I cut some felt hearts, and I'll show you that I did it, and also some paper ones. But the felt ones, here's a strip of them, and it's actually a die from Studio Calico that has a whole bunch of hearts. It's like a, I don't know if it's a 4x6 size, and so I used the negatives here, but then the positive was here. Another little card for my kids to put a little notes on. They weren't even sure what to write, so I don't they just put a couple little things. And I used some glycine bags here and there. There were some in the summer page as well. So that was a lot of fun. That's a Simple Stories. It's like a plastic clip. And here, kind of put them in the tent, sort of. And then just a variety. This is really cool. That is actually from a 6x6 pad called Brighton Pier Collection. American Crafts. It was a Studio Calico. And I don't think I have it, but you know, you can see it was like a page with a whole bunch of different, I think I used the only one. I used them up, but different little sayings. And there's some on the back. So this is magic is something you make, and that one's magic, and the other ones might have been, oh, I didn't end up using them. You know, might have been happy, and it had a little happy saying. So yeah, more the star paper is really old, generic from Joann's. It was over here as well. And more from the pad, the 3 pads I mentioned I've used throughout were the Pebbles Happy Day, and the Cool Kid, which I have tons of, and this Brighton Pier. More tabs, more words, a couple little things from, this is Simple Stories as well. And then the back, so I didn't mention that there was another one of these, what do you call it, canvas, these little canvas flags in the winter. I'll show you. Right here, it says be brave. And that worked out okay because I just folded it really good. And it, you know, when you open it, you can just kind of flatten it out. And then when you fold it, it folds. Folds pretty good. So there's another one of those, and that's from the Cool Kid collection. And my younger daughter, I said, can you draw you guys together? So that's what I got. This is just a die cut of my silhouette, some papers, Cool Kid, the Happy Day. This is actually from Becky Higgins, one of the core kits. When she used to have paper as well. I love that one. More tabs. This is a print and cut from the Silhouette store, I believe. And I do not remember where these are from, but I think they're Simple Stories. So that's my little book, and I don't know. I'm pretty smitten with it. My husband adores it, and it sits on his nightstand, so he can look at it any time. And I just enjoyed filling it with little bits in here and there, lots of little word strips, tabs. I don't know, I really love it. And I've only made maybe half a dozen mini albums, and I love this so much that I think I want to give mini albums some more time. I wanted to mention one more thing before I go, and that is that I showed you that I keep my tabs in one of these iris containers, and that people say that some people are like, should I do it with by color, manufacturer, and so forth. I don't do color for die cuts at least, but I do, for instance, like I have clouds and umbrellas and tabs, and I use clouds, and I keep things in here that I die cut myself or that come from different packs and stuff. I will actually take out sometimes clouds, hearts, some of my most used things, ticket stubs and that sort of thing from other collections, and put them all into one that's just called that thing. Because sometimes my mind thinks I need an umbrella, so I keep all my umbrellas together. I need a flower, so I keep all my flowers together. And then other things I do keep by manufacturer because they're very distinct. So in this case, for this project, I used a lot of Cocoa Vanilla and Simple Stories stuff. And then I'll keep more than one collection, of course. Like for instance, with Simple Stories, I actually have 2 of these because these are kind of really distinctly different. But these all kind of look similar. So yeah, that's what I do. And someday I'd like to show you my storage solutions. I actually am in the process of trying to get one of my houses to market. My mom's house, and then mine to market so we can move, and hopefully I'll be in a new craft room. But I think I might do a craft room tour of this one and go ahead and show everyone what I have, and then it'll be a big process to move over and recreate a room or have a new room and do all that. So maybe I'll even do like a series of how I put my craft room together and what works and what doesn't, and what works in the new space and how I've done it in the past, that sort of thing. So that might be fun. Anyways, thank you for bearing with me. I know that I like to ramble a little bit. And I hope to come back soon with some more videos. And I'll see you later.